The seas it started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed. If not for the efforts of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. Just kidding, guys. I don't have a song for you today. We've got too much to cover, and I have a special treat for you guys. All right? Good morning, fellow billionaires. This is Silver 5150 with your morning update for Friday, September 4th, 2020. Like I said, no song today because today is going to be the final installment in our latest Secret Silver Society adventure. Even the display is lazy today. And what you're looking at is an entire mini monster box of half-ounce 2018 RCM Polar Bear coins. 240 to be exact. There's 240 of these things here. And we've done this before with the Valcamic Grams. We've done this with the RCM Krakens, half-ounce War in the Pacific coins, and now these. And guys, if I've said it once before, I've said it a million times. Every once in a while, you need to treat yourself to your hard work by feeling the absolute finest of your wealth in your bare hands. Now, don't be half-baked about it. Don't be half-baked about it. Understand that before I even attempt to do something like this, I use plenty of hand sanitizer. And I'm talking about the strong stuff to make sure I don't have any natural oils, on my fingers and stuff before I try this. So even with the technique, make sure your movements are very methodical. Oh, good grief. And even. Make sure your movements are very methodical and even. Okay, you know what? Real quick, let's go ahead and talk about the markets and get that out of the way. Okay, so guys, I really don't know where to start. We'll try to make this brief, but look, it looks like that equities are falling off a cliff. Right now, the Dow is down some 571 points at 27,720, or 2% down. In the market open here I guess we're about an hour and 15 minutes in. And then the S&P 500, same deal. I mean, it's down 2.75%, almost $100 at 33.60. Now, these numbers are nosebleed levels, but the thing is, it's just the amount of volatility in the market all of a sudden. Remember, Jerome Powell said that we asked for inflation and he was going to give it to us. So by extension, that should mean that the markets are getting ready to climb. We're going to go over 30,000 on the Dow. We're going to go over 3,500 on the S&P 500 and on the way to 15,000 on the NASDAQ, but not yet. It seems that the NASDAQ has taken the biggest hit, down some 5% yesterday, right now down 4.5%, another 500 points on the NASDAQ. Now remember on Tuesday, guys, when I told you the last time I saw the number 12,000 was when the Dow was at 12,000, back in 2013 when I started stacking. So it's almost like we, saw that, and then all of a sudden we jinxed the market because the NASDAQ, it touched 12,000 and it just went on down and it's heading on down. Dive, mayday, mayday. Mayday. It's just diving down to some new depths. So we're right now just under 11,000 on the NASDAQ at 10,950. So with that is an index that I don't normally talk about, and that's called the VIX, and that's called the Fear Index. And it's based on the S&P 500. And this thing here, the highest it's ever gotten is 60 out of 100%. And, even during some of the craziest times here recently, it's gotten up as far as 50, I think. And a lot of people like to trade that. But what I can tell you is, today we're at 37.28, which is a pretty high level, considering that, everything's awesome, right? Everything is awesome. We look at the presidential addresses, you look at all the news and stuff. Job numbers, not too bad. Only lost about 875,000 jobs for the month of August. No big deal, right? Excuse me. So, everything is awesome, but everything is not awesome. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm looking at gold and silver right now. And oh, happy day if you're in the market to buy. And I actually am starting to look at where I'm wanting to buy again. I buy all the time, but I buy more volume the lower the price is. So I was listening to McIlvaney Financial yesterday, and they were talking about the possibility of silver touching the 24 handle. Right now at the 26 handle at 26.65, or down some 22%, down some 22 cents. At just under 1%. Gold is down right now to 1930, still above that 1923 old all-time high level, which is now support. 1923 is support for gold. If we go below that, then, all bets are off. But right now, we just popped down to 1929, which I think is ironic, given that was the year of the big stock market crash back 100 years ago, almost. But yeah, we're down almost $8, and just under a 0.5% down in gold right now trading. Sorry. So what does that mean? What that means is that stocks are down, gold is down. That must mean the dollar is up, and the dollar is up big. Over the last 2 days, we were down into the 91 handle. We touched on Tuesday also when the NASDAQ had made that record run to 12,000. And we got down like 91.90 or something like that, 91.80 on the dollar index, but now it's shot up a full 2 points, not basis points, a full 2 points up to 93.18. And it's up another 0.5% today after being up 1.5% yesterday, I think, in the Forex or the currency trading. So that makes sense. That makes sense that the dollar is going that high, that the equities and, of course, precious metals, and including oil, other commodities, oil down some 2.25% at $43 a barrel. It makes sense that those commodities are down because the dollar is up. But the question is, why is the dollar so far up? The way this is supposed to work is if the Federal Reserve says they're going to give us inflation, and guys, you know they've been giving us inflation in spades, pumping up the banks, pumping up the stock market steadily. Jerome Powell and his, rapid fire catapult, firing out the dollars and firing out all the currency and stuff. We've been getting inflation up the yin yang. But he's saying now that we're going to get more inflation, which should mean that the dollar is going to deflate in actual value, because the more you have of something, the less value each unit has, correct? But no, this is the world of price to perfection, where governments and banks can manipulate markets however they want to. They can actually change the numbers on the index if they want to, or withhold critical information in the news cycle to make the markets believe one thing, because you got your high-speed algorithm trading computers that only cherry pick key phrases and key words out of the news cycle to determine which way they're going to trade for their masters who can afford to have such systems. So anyway, that is the shenanigans going on in the market. It looks like we're going to get further pullback in gold and silver coming in next week. So have some dry powder ready and keep your eye on the specials, because when you coordinate the low spot prices or the smackdowns with the things that are already on sale and already available and on the shelf, you can get some really good deals. That'll be the plan for that. All right, let's continue to watch the markets today into the weekend, see if we have any bad news coming in the weekend. I won't be here next week podcasting. I don't know if I told you guys that, but that's just kind of, the thing I have to do, because we're going to be doing a lot of other projects and stuff. I'm doing some joint projects. You might be aware of those. You might not. You'll know about them later. And I'm going to need the time to get all my equipment and everything set up, because as you guys know, technically, I'm a dummy. I can't even get headphones to work right. Ask Silver Game of Thrones. He'll tell you all about it. All right, guys, so that's enough about the markets. We're going to move on to the story, because I want to try to get this in within a half-hour block, but I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So let's begin. In our last episode of the Secret Silver Society, we left our heroes cleaning up a mess created by an Arctic cruise line, in particular a ship called the Ice Maiden, striking an iceberg and wedging itself in unusually thick permafrost and influenced by tectonic movement. The ship's captain, Captain Carlson, was left with no choice but to have everyone abandon ship. Fortunately for his passengers, a Beluga SST affiliated with JSS Airways was close enough to the area to lend support. Piloted by Captain John Skanga and assisted by expat Stacker and his crew aboard his Migaloo Typhoon-class Silverdyne-powered submarine, they were able to rescue the Ice Maiden's passengers and get them to safe haven at a new resort in Finland, owned by Fred Garr. We now join expat Stacker and his crew aboard their souped-up Migaloo submarine. All right, here we go. "Captain, are you seeing this?" asked the Master Chief. "Yes, I am," said expat. "I didn't think we'd be generating this much heat." Expat still talking. "Sure, it'd be nice to get a breakthrough in our cold fusion research department so we wouldn't have to deal with this." Master Chief's all, "Why, yes, sir, it would be, but you do see the problem." "Yes, Master Chief. But we really have no choice currently, as we're committed to trying to save this ship." "So what's our plan? To stay suspended here in the hopes that the ship repairs itself?" "Well, no. We have crew members outside trying to assess the damage, but a repair of that magnitude will most likely have to be done in dry dock." "So what's the play, Captain?" "Well, Tom," and that's the Master Chief's name, "our next move depends heavily on the favor I called in earlier." "Whoa, wait a minute, sir. You called him?" "Yes, I did." "I mean, it's not that I'm surprised that you called him, sir. I'm just amazed that you actually got through." And expat's like, "Well, yeah, no doubt. He's a busy guy. But it's not like he lives in a vacuum, you know. Being an interpreter for the World Council and a head of research at Magnacore, won't be enough to keep Silver Game of Thrones from missing out on a crisis like this one." "Well, glad to hear it, sir, because it looks like we're running out of time." So, you got to understand that these guys were trying to keep the ship, from going underwater in the submarine. And so they were using, special engine technologies, attitude control thrusters, all kinds of stuff that was on this Typhoon-class submarine to keep the front of the ship that had the big hole in it from trying to go under. So they were basically using, airbags and all kinds of suspension technologies and gyroscopic, stabilization to keep the ship, upright until, help could arrive. And so it looks like that help was going to be on the way, thanks to Silver Game of Thrones calling it a special favor to the former Soviet Union or Russia. All right, the Russian Federation. All right, so just over the comm system, you could hear the crackling echoes of what sounded like Russian language. This is inside the submarine. EP Migaloo Command. EP Migaloo Command, do you read? This is a Russian salvage ship, Vladivostok. We have your position. How would you like us to proceed? An expat, mildly fluent in Russian, he replied. Please maintain your heading and prepare for salvage operations. Copy that, Commander. We'll maintain our heading and be in contact once we're linked up with the distressed vessel. Good to hear it, Tovarich, said expat as he made a sigh of relief. We have ample engine power, but the waste heat is creating a real problem with the ice. We appreciate your studiousness. EP Migaloo out. All right, we're going to move along to the other people in the story because right now they're going to go ahead and deal with that ship there with expat and the Russian Federation. So meanwhile, aboard the Beluga SST, now if you guys remember these guys, they had managed to save the passengers on that ship with a daring rescue, a vertical takeoff and landing operation, using this gigantic airplane. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll try to provide pictures for you later on, but it is a gigantic aircraft that can hold a lot of people, and they took everybody off that ship along with the few members of the Secret Silver Society. And they got everybody aboard that airplane, and now they were taking off and getting the heck out of there and trying to get to Finland, where Fred had his new resort and stuff. And so, meanwhile, aboard this Beluga SST supersonic transport, Nick Upland's adventurer and far trader. He was an adventurer and a far trader. He was still shaking his head that his EDSC, or Everyday Silver Carry, that was his low serial numbered RCM kilobar, was now integrated into the self-leveling engine system that expat Stacker had designed for JSS Airways. Now, if you remember at the end of our last episode, the members of the Trip S, and that's what we call the members of the Secret Silver Society, the Trip S, the members of the Trip S were called to donate all of their EDSCs to help the engines maintain their power levels, the new power levels they had, and to avoid blowing themselves to bits, because those engines were overpowered and they need a lot of silver to keep themselves intact. So to avoid blowing themselves to bits, along with the airplane and everyone on it. So it was, a sacrificial rescue attempt, on the part of the Secret Silver Society. And so the people that had been rescued, they had no idea what took place. They just knew that they were in safety and they were on their way. And they were, thanking God that, the Triple S had managed to help them escape. So anyway, further in the lounge, while Nick was, shaking his head, Andy Anderson and Son discovered how it always seems like it's never boring when they hang out with the Trip S. Things are never dull. What time do you think you'll be there? What time do you think we'll be there? The tall teen asked, talking about Andy's son. Well, judging by the speed of the aircraft and my knowledge of geography, I'd say we probably touched down in about an hour and 45 minutes. Finish your meal and let me worry about the time, said Andy. Teenagers. Just then, Captain John Skanga's voice, the captain of the aircraft, his voice crackles over the overhead comm system. Good evening, folks. This is your captain speaking. I just wanted to take the opportunity to commend you on an outstanding job during the rescue operation. In all the chaos, I hadn't had a chance to convey my gratitude, but would like to ask you to take a few minutes to strap in, as our new upgrades seem to work a lot better at higher speeds. In other words, we're about to go hypersonic soon. Thanks for your patience, and we'll be touching down in about 15 minutes. So what should have took an hour and 45 minutes was now going to take 15 minutes. That was me laughing in the background, by the way, not Captain John Skanga. Wow, said some of the kids on board the aircraft, hearing that the 15-minute trip, the hour and 45-minute trip is going to only take 15 minutes. So after securing the 5-point harness on his chair, Andy's son scarfed the rest of his meal down and was ready to go. So back in the North Pole, where the salvage operation was taking place, though it was pitch black, things were going swimmingly well. The Vladivostok provided ample light on the surface, while the Migaloo shined like the sun underneath. Migaloo, this is Vladivostok. All salvage apparatus is secure. You are free to detach. Thank the good Lord, thought expat. Are you all right, Captain? We did it, He goes, yeah, we did. I'm really grateful that we didn't have to have another one of those unusual tremors, because that would have really, really made things bad. I'm just grateful for that. That's all. Helmsman, set a course for home and get us the heck out of here. Aye, aye, sir. The 1,200-foot-long submarine then turned about 180 degrees and headed for South Korea. Back aboard the Beluga SST, Captain John Skanga was amazed how different the stars look at hypersonic speed now that they were going hypersonic. It was amazing how different the stars looked at hypersonic speed versus supersonic, and hadn't noticed a strange transmission buzzing over the cabin receivers. "You going to get that?" John's co-pilot asked. "Yeah, I'd better, and don't you dare take your eyes off those instruments." "I wouldn't dream of it, sir," smiled the frazzled co-pilot. Glancing down at the comm screen, Captain Skanga could vaguely make out what looked like an image of a man wearing a parka in a snowstorm on the screen. And then came the voice. "John, this is Fred. Do you copy? Over." "Whoa, Fred, is that you, man? Oh, my gosh, are you a sight for sore eyes? Oh, you can see me? You can see me? Good, good. I guess this is a pretty good camera then." Now, guys, a little inside baseball. And Fred, I love you, but I tell you, man, your cameras, they do you wrong sometime on your phone and stuff. And I get it because I've had the same problem. But I thought I'd throw that in. That's a little inside baseball here, amongst us content providers, that sometimes we have equipment failures. You guys know I have plenty of them and stuff. But Fred's cameras give him the hardest time. So I just thought I'd kind of throw that in. Have a little fun. All right. So Fred's like, "Yeah, I guess this is a pretty good camera then. Look, listen up. On your approach, I need you to target the magnesium flares we set up for you on the makeshift landing pad." And John's all, "Yep, our sensors already detected them." "So, you're in the magnesium now, huh, Fred?" "Ha ha ha, very funny, John. Just land the plane so we can get these people fed and warm." "You're the host with the most, Fred. We'll see you soon," said John. All right, so once the plane had landed and the passengers began to disembark, Fred had them escorted by 2 full Silver Century security medical teams to make sure that they were okay. Everyone checked out, and as they filled the banquet hall beyond capacity, the staff had everyone seated and they began to serve food. Before they began eating, Fred tapped on his sizable silver goblet that he used to drink out of, and had everyone bow, and he said grace. Then after dinner, Fred had everyone who was willing to join him down in the main entertainment area, which was entirely new to the facility, but was well lit, nicely adorned, and huge. Of course, there was a typical fare, a fine art gallery, complete with champion race cars, a bevy of casino-style games, a big band orchestra, and a 200-foot wet bar. New friends were made, and old acquaintances were renewed. Of course, there were the usual suspects along with their families, including Silver Joker, Silver Conundrum, myself, Aussie Coin Girl, you got Baby Duck, and Brodor was there with his people from Silver Century Security, 49's Fine, Silver Game of Thrones, Creo the Lone Traveler, AG Skyflyer, and many more of our stacking community was there for the big grand opening at Fred's Place. Now, off to the left of the west area was also a gigantic arcade filled with hundreds of electronic games, carnival-style games, bumper cars, and a quarter midget racetrack. It goes without saying that all the kids that were in the group filled this area, which was staffed by plainly clothed members of the Silver Century security team. So nobody was aware that, they were providing security. So, look, a great time was being had by all. People were getting fed and they were warm. They were figuring out what they were going to do next. JSS was on the line, trying to get transports prepared for all the people that are going to need to be sent back to their different areas. And this group of people that got rescued, by the way, they were kind of elitists. They were elite people that, were flush with cash of the time and cryptos and metals and all that stuff. And they're very grateful for having their lives saved and were very endeared to the secret Silver Society. And it looked like that our banks were going to benefit greatly from the rescue attempt. So these attempts where we go out and save people are not, in a vacuum. Now I'm not saying that we're a bunch of superheroes in this storyline. I'm just saying that, because we are able to utilize resources and, obviously if you're a stacker, you are bold of heart and you're willing to take a huge risk to make sure that you can stay ahead of the game, or 99% ahead of the game at least, right? Okay. So look, yeah, great times being had by all. Okay. And then myself, I felt my phone buzzing in my pocket. Reaching into my pocket and looking at it, I saw the Expat Corp logo and decided to take the call inside of one of the satellite offices. 5150. Expat. Hey man, when are you heading back down to South Korea? The girls miss you. Oh brother, I miss you guys too. I'm still down under with 49s trying to learn to pour properly, but I should be up to speed in about a week. Well, I suggest you use your miles with JSS to book a flight directly here when you're done, said Expat. You're kidding me, I said. I wouldn't kid you about this, bud, said Expat. We had some major breakthroughs in the cold fusion lab and learned a lot about my engine designs during this last rescue operation. I think that 2025 is going to be the year we can get your solar plans space-based, finally. Well, hot damn, I yipped. All right, man. Well, let me finish learning what I can learn here, and then I'll grab my stuff and I'll bring it all over. Oh, and by the way, check your JSS stock portfolio. Everyone in the Secret Silver Society that participated in the rescue should notice a substantial increase in their portfolios. Nice, said Expat. I should have a much larger. Oh, nice, said Expat, and then I said I should have a much larger position with that company, but I always end up converting it into miles and using it to fly everywhere. See you guys in a week. Looking forward to it, my friend, said Expat. Then we hung up, and that was it. So, guys, that was pretty much the story, how it ended. We're going to have another segment and stuff that is going to take us into even further madcap adventures. But, look, the thing is we are doing this thing in real life where we're stacking in real life. And it is taking its toll on us to see the market manipulation, to come up with the cash and the effort and the sweat and the blood to try to, get ourselves positioned properly for this upcoming economic reset. In the meantime and in between time, I'm afraid, like everything else, it's up to us to entertain one another. A lot of great content providers are out there doing that, to inform one another and to help one another navigate through this system. I know I'm always talking about togetherness and all inclusiveness, but guys, when you see the size, when you see the scope of this economic collapse and how it's going to affect people throughout the world, you are going to be thanking your lucky stars that you're part of an organization or group that is in tune with the solution. We will be the solution, whether you want to be or not. You are in the biggest poker game of your life, and I'm sure Silver Joker could appreciate that axiom, but you are in the biggest card game, the biggest poker game of your life, and whether or not you think you have a stake in the game, you absolutely do. You absolutely do have a stake in this game. This is your stake in the global reset game. Okay? You're in it. And this is good. This is good you're in it because, again, like I said, we're the solution. So don't ever let anybody tell you that, you're doing the wrong thing, that you're being brainwashed. It's a conspiracy theory. Silver will never go anywhere. It's no good and all that stuff because we can see the things happening in the markets. Now, there's a lot of gyrations, a lot of volatility and stuff. Silver, like I said, is heading back down probably to a 24 handle. Be ready to buy some when that happens because I think that's going to be the last final dip. I wouldn't even call it a pullback. It's more like a dip because we're not below the old highs. But, it's just the thing you need to stay vigilant on because buying silver and holding it is the single most powerful thing you can do to prepare yourself and those you care about for the upcoming reset. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like Silver Joker says, the future is still on its way. It hasn't even shown us all its teeth yet. You wait until it really, really gets, crazy, and you'll see what I mean. All right, guys. So look, I do this, I take a huge risk here because, as you know, my songs are corny. My format is corny. I don't have an intro, any of that stuff. All I can give you is what I have inside, and what I have inside is a passion for silver, a passion for us as a group. I love my community. I love you subscribers. I love you casual observers. All you guys that are out there getting it done, helping us clear the shelves, and putting an end to the silver manipulation and gives silver the chance to be what it was always meant to be. And that is the monetary solution to a world gone mad with runaway government and inflation. Right? So, I hope this gave you something to smile about or laugh about, make fun of me during the weekend. And I'm okay with that because I like to make fun of myself. Life should not be taken too seriously. We should not take ourselves too seriously, but we should darn sure take this seriously. Right here, precious metals, especially silver, as a good investment. All right, so during the holiday weekend, try to have a good time. Oh, and a reminder real quick again, in the programming notes, I will not be broadcasting a morning update during this upcoming abbreviated work week. So the holiday, of course, is on Monday. There'll be no market activity then. A lot of people that are working for the public will not be working then. Everything will kind of be, well, like it is on shutdown, but on steroids. But if the need should arise, I will pop in quickly to do a 2,500 subscriber giveaway should we reach that mark by then. All right? And I'll do it in a timely manner. If I see the 2,500 mark has been reached for the 2,500 subscriber giveaway, I will get the Blackbeard and the Somali elephants out, and we will pick a winner, and we will get that thing shipped so the winners can have it, or the winner can have it in their coffers, have it in their possession, in case this thing rolls over before the end of the month. But yeah, I think I might do an additional prize Also, I'll probably do a second prize also. We'll find out about that when we get there. All right. So look, guys, I want to thank you all for indulging me in my corny pursuits, my stories, my songs and stuff. It's just one of the ways I keep myself motivated. One of the ways I like to try to contribute to you guys, whether you skip over the song, skip over the stories or not. Some people will, some people won't. It's all fine and good. It's just part of a body of work that we're all trying to build. And we're going to look back on this historically and chronicle all the comments, all the videos, all of the content, all that stuff and go, man, guys, remember we were knee deep head first in this stuff? We were up to our necks in it. And we still persevered. We still did the things that was counter to everybody else. We did not follow the lemmings over the cliff. We did the contrarian investing, and here we are today, and we are the solution. Awesome, awesome stuff. All right. So thank you all for indulging me, like I said, and allowing me to use some of you for the cast. And if it didn't include some of you in this storyline, there'll be plenty more storylines down the road. And at some point, we'll eventually get everyone. That's right. No one escapes. Sorry. Look, I'm Silver5150 telling you that your stack is not whack and that just 12 ounces to your name, just 12 ounces, keeps you 99% ahead of the game and in stories like these. So please like, share, subscribe, and comment if you wish. Check us out on Instagram. We're trying to build Instagram now to have some more eye candy to look at, when you're privately and can do it on your own. And I'll be back to see you guys again for another morning update on the 14th of this month. So out next week, back on the 14th. Have a great holiday weekend, guys, and take care.